So welcome everybody to this Facebook Live. Just let me know you can see me, let me know you can hear me, and let me know you can see my slides. So just pop a message in the chat. I will just pop a message in the chat to check it's working. And we're going to talk about this topic, morning routines for mind, body, and spirit. So I'm going to share some ideas, and it's just really important that you just tailor what I share to you and your situation. Charlene says hello. Rob says hi. Thanks for letting me know, and maybe tell me where you are in the world. That's always nice to know. So yeah, I'll be sharing some ideas. Tailor them to your situation. This isn't an opportunity to beat yourself up if you're not doing certain things, if you know you've got some sort of habits that are maybe not helpful, but it's just to get you to think about some routines that actually might support you, help you move forward. So we've got Karen saying hi, Julia. Charlene is in London. So yeah, let me know where you are in the world. Thanks for letting me know. Hi from Holland, love from Holland, from Jana. Sending you love back. So first question then, what are some unhelpful habits that you have or have had in relation to, your morning routine? I have shared that, my sort of morning routine, the first thing I used to do when I woke up is I'd pick my phone up and I'd scroll through Facebook. I'd check my emails, and there's nothing terribly wrong with that, but it just means, according to Brendan Burchard, who is supposed to be the number one coach in the world. He says if you do that first thing, check Facebook, check your email, you're letting other people set your agenda. And when I heard him say that, I kind of really thought, actually, that's great advice. So getting a few tips, a few comments. Let's just have a look. Julie from Atlanta. Hello, Julie. Joanne saying hi. Rob is reaching for the phone. Yeah. So what is your morning habit when you wake up? What do you tend to do? I say that's not necessarily bad or whatever, but it's just thinking about, actually, that how I want to start my day. And actually I realized it wasn't how I wanted to start my day, because sometimes I'd literally spend half an hour or longer just scrolling through Facebook, looking at pictures of cats, etc. Cats are lovely, but there's better ways to start the day. Tim Ferriss, who's an entrepreneur, so Julie says coffee immediately. That's fair enough. Some people love their coffee. Tim Ferriss, who is an entrepreneur, has a podcast which I really like. And one of the things he does in that podcast is he asks people, what is your morning routine? And so I've sort of collected lots of ideas based on what people say. He's often interviewing successful people who are successful in their field. So I think it's interesting to just sort of hear what people are saying. So Jane says negative thoughts too often, and Yana says meditate. Okay, so that's a great start. And actually, we'll come on to that. One of the people, I remember listening to a podcast in which I think Robin Sharma, who's a personal development chap, was talking about his routine, and he said his routine consisted of 20 minutes of meditation, 20 minutes of movement, and 20 minutes focusing on growth. So he might read something just to expand his mind, or watch a video, or be doing a bit of a course. So his first hour was spent doing those three things. I thought that was quite cool. So if we think about why it's important to just really think about our morning routine, time is a precious resource. And if your energy is limited, then it kind of makes sense to me to really think about how we use our time and how we set up our day. And for me, it just feels really good when I am focused. And if we don't kind of have a think about this and create a plan, then we can just squander our precious time. We maybe aren't making the most of our energy, which can hinder progress. I don't know if you've had this experience, but I remember I had times when, I would just mess around when I knew I need to just pause and rest or meditate. And because I didn't spend an hour doing, maybe chatting to someone on by messenger or whatever, at the end of that hour I felt really tired. And actually, if I had just paused and done something more that I needed in that moment, that would have been more useful. So I see mistakes people make is just not having a routine or plan, thinking it doesn't matter. I think it is just really valuable. So let's talk about what do we do, what to do. Okay, one thing Tim Ferriss says is that if we want results, we need routines. And we can't rely on motivation because motivation fluctuates. Sometimes we feel motivated, sometimes we don't. And once we get into routines, they become really easy. So for me, I've been doing this for over a year now. I started this last January in 2020, where I'd get up, I'd make a drink, and then I'd go out for a walk. And it's a really lovely start to the day. I posted a video this morning, and as I was making a video in the park, these geese flew overhead. It was just quite a nice moment, which I would have missed if I was still lying in bed scrolling on Facebook. So, as I say, I'm going to share some ideas. You don't have to do them all at once. And someone did post in my group, that they didn't want to make this chore. So it's really important it doesn't turn into a chore. It's something that actually adds to your life rather than takes away. And if that means just starting with one thing, there's someone, I don't know if she's on this Facebook Live, but someone said, actually, that's going to be my habit of just doing some exercise first thing. So I'm going to share some ideas for your mind, body, and spirit. And the first one is, as Yana mentioned, is meditation. Okay, just consider that that's something you could do just even for a few minutes. What would that be like to start your day by just spending 5 minutes meditating? And sometimes I do that still lying in bed. I wake up and I might just spend 5 minutes on that. A couple of quotes I really like. The goal of meditation isn't to control your thoughts. It's to stop letting them control you. And a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. Meditation is not to escape from society, but to come back to ourselves and see what is going on. Once there is seeing, there must be acting. With mindfulness, we know what to do and what not to do to help. So I think he's talking about the idea of that we can use meditation to grow in our awareness and actually take inspired action. So that's the first thing. So I'd like you to just consider whether that could be part of your morning routine. Okay, maybe take a note. You make a note of these 6 things and see if you can guess what the 7th will be. So the second one is affirming. So some people like affirmations, but really what I'm thinking about here is just reminding yourself who you are at your best. So, there are a lot of people, if you are familiar with Louise Hay, she talks about affirmations. Tony Robbins talks about incantations. I've had about 3 coaches send me Tony Robbins incantations, and I'll incorporate them if we have time into a guided relaxation that I'll do at the end. So what I'd suggest you actually just Google some affirmations and just write down anything that you like, that you think, actually, yeah, that would be a good way to start my day, just to read out this out loud. There's a couple of books that I really like. One that I dip into sometimes in the morning is called The Tao of Leadership, and it just has very short paragraphs which are food for thought. So ponder that. What works for you in terms of affirming, reminding yourself who you are at your best. So I'll talk more about that actually in a Facebook Live that I might do next week. So the next one is reading. What could you read? It could be just a really short paragraph. As I mentioned, I like this book called The Tao of Leadership. That was actually, I think someone bought me that. And it's just a nice way of starting the day. Reading some wisdom from, I can't remember the author of The Tao of Leadership. It'll come to me. It's one of these wise Chinese beings. So yeah, what could you read? If anyone's got any thoughts on that, pop it in the chat. Be interested what your go-to is. As I say, if anyone's got the Louise Hay book, You Can Heal Your Life, each chapter I think ends with an affirmation. So that's a book worth checking out. Okay, Dao de Führung. Okay, is that the translation, or that sounds German? Curious to know. So yeah, any books you particularly like, just pop them in the chat. Be interesting to know. So the next thing is to use visualization. There's a story in the Chicken Soup for the Soul books about a school principal, and someone says to him, "You're always in a good mood, and you always seem to respond to even challenging situations in a resourceful way." And one of the things he says is, "I actually visualize my day, and I visualize how I want to respond to it. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I just visualize myself responding to challenging situations in a resourceful way." So Yana says Dr. Joseph Murphy. Okay, I don't know him, so I might check him out. Charlene says, what's the title of the Louise Hay book? So it's Louise Hay, Hay, and the book is You Can Heal Your Life. So yeah, it's an interesting book. So yeah, think about that. What would it be like to just visualize your day going the way you want it to go, or doing something with ease? So for example, I was working with a client quite recently, and because her energy was low, she found going and having a shower quite challenging. And so we did a visualization of her getting to a nice, calm, relaxed state, and then just seeing herself having a shower in a relaxed way. And what she had noticed is that when she was thinking about having a shower, and when she was having a shower, she was kind of doing it in a hurry because she thought her energy would run out. And of course, because she was generating some stress, her energy ran out. Okay, and she found that by just practicing visualizing every day, she started to approach having a shower in a more relaxed way. And we can also use visualization to visualize ourselves breaking unhelpful patterns, creating more helpful patterns, seeing ourselves responding in more useful ways. Okay, so the next thing is around exercise. Okay, so obviously if your energy is limited, just think about what you could do. Again, if your energy is really limited, you could actually visualize doing physical activity, because we know from research that even visualizing using your muscles strengthens the muscles. So Karen's put the name of the book, You Can Heal Your Life. Thank you, Karen. So yeah, research actually shows that by exercising a muscle, it gets stronger. That fascinates me. Okay, so consider that. So let's just pause a moment and let's just find out what, if you were to do some physical activity first thing, what could you do? If it doesn't feel right for you, if that's not the best time of day for you, that's completely fine. But if that is a fit, if you think, oh, actually, yeah, I could do some physical activity, what could you do? Maybe just pop a message in the chat whilst I have a drink from my Homer Simpson's mug. I did ask this question when I did a Facebook Live a while back, that mug is featured in a Hugh Grant film. Any guesses what film it is? I have asked this question before, so you might know the answer. So yeah, what could you do in terms of physical activity first thing if that feels appropriate? So I'll move on to the next one. And the next one, so Rob says, I've been doing short walks. Julie says, I visualize me dancing and happy, and it helps break the heavy physical fatigue often. Fantastic. I love that. I really, I had a client actually who, when she got up in the morning, she would do her happy dance in front of the mirror and kind of just say nice things to herself, like, you can do it. Maybe you should. I'll show you what she was. She would just stand in front of the mirror and say, "You can do it. You can do it. You're awesome. Just do what you need to do." And she would it would get her into a kind of playful state. So Julia says, walk around the garden and gentle stretches, sitting down on the bench. Fantastic. So thanks for your participation. And the sixth one is to log things. So this might be doing some journaling, just getting any stuff out of your system, maybe writing down 3 things you can give yourself a pat on the back from the day before. Or it might be just writing down a plan for the day. This is one of the first things. Well, this is the first thing I do when I actually sit down to work. So I normally aim to sit down at my desk at 9 o'clock. The first thing I do is write a plan for the day. I know some people do it the night before, but I actually just quite like doing it first thing in the morning. And I write it on pen and paper. I also use an app called Keep, which is a Google Chrome app where you can just create lists. But I quite like having a physical paper one as well, because I like being able to cross things out. It gives me a sense of satisfaction, and I can check it at the end of the day and see what I've done. So the 7th one is an acronym of the first 6. So I don't know if you know what the first letter of the first 6 are. Any guesses what the 7th one is? Maybe I'll remind you. Okay, so we had exercise, visualize, read, affirm, meditate. So the 7th one is the first letters from each of those, which is to marvel. Ah, Joanne got it. Fantastic. And what do I mean by this? I mean, one of the things I sometimes do is, because this has always fascinated me from the moment I learned this at school, was, if I just ponder the fact that the universe is infinite, that always kind of blows my mind a bit. And just, I remember sometimes when I'd feel quite down, I would just lie in bed and ponder that, and it would kind of help me shift my state sometimes. So consider that. What would it be like if you just sort of just pondered for a moment? Wow, this is, incredible. The universe is infinite. I'm alive. Maybe we could cultivate some gratitude. So let's just pause there. I've shared quite a few ideas. It'd be really interesting to just get a sense of what your sort of one takeaway would be. What's one thing that you could adopt? I'm really into keeping it simple, just establish a habit that feels like something that resonates. There may be a bit of resistance, but when we work through that resistance, I remember when I many years ago decided that I should do some yoga. This is when I was at school because I was getting a bit stressed about exams and stuff. I decided to do yoga, and initially there was some resistance. I'd be like, "Oh, do I really? Oh, I don't really want to do yoga," but I found if I just made a start, said, "Okay, let's do it for just 1 minute," then that would get me over the hump. Okay, so as I say, just to remind you, Tim Ferriss says that if we want results, we need routines. You know, we can also have some time for spontaneity, but if we want results, we need to create routines. We can't rely on motivation because motivation, waxes and wanes. And once we've established routines, they become easy. Okay, most people don't have to think about brushing their teeth. It's just something they do routinely. So what would be one action step? So Rob's saying positive thoughts, journaling. What about other people? I can see there's still a few people on the call. Nice to have a bit of interaction. What would be one thing you could do? And if you like, we'll finish with a guided relaxation. How does that sound? If you'd like that, just pop a yes in the chat. Julie says, visualize how I would like the day to go. Fantastic. So if you'd like to end with a brief relaxation, just let me know. So we've got a yes, please. So, okay, so let's do that. Actually, before I do that, if you are interested to find out more about my Building Resilience training, where I kind of talk about the sort of 3 core steps and the 9 strategies for helping people, then just get in touch and I'll send you a link to a video, and you're welcome to have a free strategy session where we're going to identify some sticking points and some strategies for overcoming them. But for now, let's focus on relaxation. So what I'd like you to do, obviously only if it's safe to do so, is to close your eyes. Don't close your eyes if it's not safe to do so. And you can do this lying down or sitting down, whatever feels comfortable. What I'd like you to do is just bring your awareness to what you'd see right now if your eyes were open. The objects, the colours, the shapes, the textures. Just have an awareness of your environment. And now bring your awareness to any sounds that you can hear other than the sound of my voice. There may be sounds close by. There may be sounds in the distance. And you can let them wash over you as you just allow yourself to be guided by my voice. And I'd like you to just bring your awareness to your physical body. And I'd like you to just make a mental note of what number you are right now for calm and relaxed, with 0 being not very calm and relaxed, and 10 being extremely calm and relaxed. Just make a mental note and bring your awareness to the position of your arms and your hands, your legs and your feet. Notice the contact between your body and any surfaces touching your body. And as you bring your awareness to your breath, just breathing in slowly and deeply and releasing the breath in a nice, slow, rhythmic manner. And at a pace that suits you, take another breath in, and when you're ready, just release that breath. Once more, take a breath in, and when you're ready, breathing out, allowing your mind, your body, your muscles to soften, relax, and let go. And what I'd like you to do is just think about a time where you just felt confident, you felt unstoppable. And I want you to remember it as if you are there right now. Just shifting your posture, adjusting your facial expression, breathing that way that you breathe when you feel those feelings of confidence and unstoppability. And allowing that feeling to circulate in your body. I'd like you just to now remember a time when you just felt love. You just felt love for someone. Might even be an animal, a pet, or a friend, or someone in your life. But just feel that feeling of love. Bring your awareness to your heart. Just imagine sending that love out. Maybe imagining it as a colour. And as you send it out, it comes back to you, filling your body from your head to your toes. Now, I'd like you just to think about a time where you just experienced feelings of happiness and joy, remembering it as if you are there right now, seeing what you see in that moment, hearing the sounds that you hear, and feeling those physical sensations of happiness and joy in your body. And now, remembering a time where you experienced feeling gratitude. Time when you had that experience of gratitude for who you are, for all the things that you can be grateful for. I've been reading a book which is talking about conditions for people living at the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century, and reading about the tough life that children had working down the mines and working in factories, kind of made me grateful that we live in very different times. And even when my parents were born, only 30 years or so after the beginning of the century, things had already changed a lot for some people. And that does remind me to feel gratitude. And so I'm going to share a few words from Tony Robbins. You can just contemplate these words, considering which of them resonate most for you. One of the things he talks about is starting the day by reading these words out, saying these words out loud. And what he says is, I must fulfill my destiny, to live my life to my full potential, to constantly grow, improve, achieve, contribute, and love. I am the light in the dark, a leader amongst men and women, and I do what must be done. I am a force for good. I will believe, not doubt. I am unstoppable, unshakable, unbeatable. I am strong. I will embrace, and I will adapt. I will stand on my feet. I will never be beat. I will never retreat. I will win. I am a champion, a master influencer. I am heart, brain, spirit, and peace. Every day, I selflessly give myself my strength, my truth in my heart. I stand on the battlefield ready because I am a gladiator. I am outstanding and I am legendary. And this is my legacy. I am an author of the unforeseen. I am the future. I am an entrepreneur. And I will risk it all to love, live, grow, give. I now command my subconscious mind to harness the power within me to spread massive change to the corners of the world, to the corners of the universe, to presently exist. I am present with all that there is, that exists in me. Give me the power to transform now. The power that turns weakness into strength, fears into faith, wounds, scars, and hate into love, lies into truth, darkness into light. That light now lies within my chest, and this is the one I see, hear, feel. And now I am the master of my life, and I am the captain of my soul. So I'd like you just to allow yourself to just contemplate what I've shared today and just allow yourself to intuit what feels right for you going forward, and thinking about one small step you could take in relation to your morning routine that just help you start the day in a way that feels good for you. So I'm going to count to 5, and either at the end you can just carry on relaxing, or if you feel ready you can just open your eyes and come back to the room. So 1, just bring your awareness to your environment, to what you would see if your eyes were open. And 2, just bring your awareness to the sounds that you hear. And now 3, just bring your attention to your body. And 4, as you gently stretch your body, wiggle your fingers and toes. 5, when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the room. And I'd like you just to clock what number you are now on that scale, where 0 is not very calm and relaxed, and 10 is extremely calm and relaxed. And you can put your before and after number in the chat if you like. If you've got any questions, if you'd like to learn more about the training I deliver, just get in touch. But for now, I'll say thanks for watching, thanks for your participation, and next week I was thinking of doing Facebook Live, maybe around the topic of mindset. I might do a visualization related to that. So Jana's saying she feels that she's a 9 now. Excellent. Wondering what number you were when we started, Jana, but that's great that you're a 9. So for now I'll say thanks everybody and bye for now.